So how's Microsoft going to do on launch? They're going to have really good games. They're going to have, what kind of features are they going to have at launch? What about the price point? What's the price point going to be? And maybe what the name, what's that name going to be for that Xbox? And particularly the date. So let's talk about the date as well. And that's what this video is going to be about. I did have one on Sony, and I'll put that in the comment section below. Definitely go check that out. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Share it to all your friends, like my content to get to as many people as possible. So let's go ahead and get into the video. So no secret that Microsoft's been making moves. They've been making moves pretty much the past couple years. People didn't really see them, myself included. It looked like didn't really know what was going on. It looked like maybe they were abandoning the brand in general, but it does look like that's not the case. So let's go ahead and go into the games aspect. I'm going to go ahead and judge the Xbox next release how I judge the Sony release. So when it comes to the games, what might their launch titles be? I think they might rely a little bit more on third party than Sony. I think they might get that, you know, the bigger games of that year coming out. So maybe like an Elder Scrolls 6 or something like that. And that's just saying that Elder Scrolls will come out. That was just a guess. I picked the biggest game. Chances are that game's not coming out at launch, but that was the biggest game I had. Let's take, for an example, maybe a Battlefield like they've been doing. Now, when it comes to first parties, I do believe Halo and Fable are going to be a launch title. I do think that Microsoft is putting these pieces together strictly depending on, because they want to come out of this next gen fighting. They want to come out the gate, because whoever really, you know, wins that first initial run out the gate, they generally win the entire generation. So, you know, when it comes to games, I think Fable, I don't think Ninja Theory's game might get ported, but for some reason, if it comes out in 2019, I can see Ninja Theory being on that. But what would be the best case scenario if it came out in 2020 and you had Ninja Theory's game, you had the Initiative, you had Fable, you know, whatever Forza they're doing at that time. So those would be a really good startup mechanic for this company to really get off of what was going on in this generation, that they had no first party games. So that's what I think when it comes to term of games. I do think there's a good chance that depending on when it comes out, 2019, 2020, that especially if it's a 2020, that we might see the Initiatives game on launch, which I think that might be a year later. Then again, if they really, really want to, you know, give that game a 3-year life cycle, pop that in 2020, and see how that goes. So let's go on to the features. You know, obviously, for anyone that's not living under a rock, Microsoft has been spotted trying to do that streaming case scenario. So they are, looks like they are going into streaming. I've been told by a couple reliable people that they are. I don't think that's an issue, because I think what that's going to do is it's going to, as long as your internet is correct, you can just get that streaming device and you don't even have to worry about anything besides that streaming device. So, you know, that might be a feature that they do. Maybe that's going to be on the next Xbox. Maybe that streaming device is implemented in the Xbox One and the Xbox One X, and that's how they're going to keep carrying your library over and letting you use that initial system. So let's go ahead. Maybe features. What is another feature that they might get? I don't really know at this time, because this whole generation, they've been getting those features and they've been really defining their UI to be as friendly as possible. And I do think that maybe they can make it a little bit more user friendly for the next system. But that's all I really have on features. Next is price. Part of me wants to say it's going to be $3.99, but the other part of me thinks they might use this streaming term to make it $4.99, and you know, maybe a queue that's $3.99. And I don't like mid-generation consoles. I think that's ridiculous, because if it comes out in 2019, 20, that's still not a long time with your Xbox One X, and I don't think that justifies a purchase even with the Pro. But, you know, I digress. I don't argue about that. I don't have any of that. So I would say $3.99. The name. Now, I did think about this for a minute. I don't think that they're going... I think they're going to completely stay away from the Xbox One name entirely. I don't think they're going to touch that at all. I don't think they want anything to do with that Xbox One name. So I do think that they're going to change that. I think they're going to go ahead and, maybe go with a traditional Xbox, something like the 360, how they went from the original Xbox to the Xbox 360, completely change it up and give it its own terms that's away from the Xbox One brand. The date. I'm wanting to say 2019. I've heard from a lot of people that are doing it in 2019. A lot of people I've been told that they're doing it in 2020. I feel like 2019 would be the best bet depending on how far they are in that life cycle. 2020 seems like it depends on what Sony does. If Sony comes out in 2019, Microsoft's coming out in 2019. Don't let these people lie to you. Don't let these people trick you. They are not going to let Sony be out for a whole year before them, especially getting beat in terms of sales this generation as much as they had. I highly doubt that they're going to let Sony keep that much momentum going into next gen and come out a year early. But, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the games that they have will be of quality? Do you think there's anything Microsoft can do to really come out the gate next generation swinging? I think if they showed a good confident. My thing is they need to compare it, and they need to show these games in a good light. Microsoft's been really bad at showing games this generation. The games could be good, but they're really bad at showing it. That's one of the reasons Crackdown has been delayed a couple of times, is because, that Comic-Con thing, that game was looked at horribly because of how they showed it at Comic-Con. But as long as they show Fable, as long as they redefine Halo, take it to the next, take it to next generation in a good, decent way. Get your Gears, have a solid launch title, maybe come out before Sony. I think there's a good chance Microsoft can really, start equaling out that leveling ground. Not to mention that Microsoft's been humbled this whole generation. So I don't think they're going to make as many mistakes going next generation. As long as that, the streaming thing isn't your only sole purpose thing that you can use, I don't think there's going to be another incident to where Microsoft gets hit as much as they did in 2013. But, that's what I feel like their games are going to be. I feel like they're going to stick a lot to their first party. The studios that they had, I don't know what Compulsion's going to do. Features, I don't see a whole lot of features. Like I said earlier, I think the price is going to be $3.99, and the streaming service is going to be $2.99 to $1.99, and I think that name is going to be staying away from that Xbox One brand, and that thing is definitely coming out in 2019 or 2020. Like I said, I'm leaning more to 2019. But, tell me what you guys think. Is there any particular kind of launch title, maybe a launch exclusive, that you guys would like to see that would maybe persuade you into getting an Xbox? Let's say that Xbox and PlayStation both come out in the same day. What kind of launch titles would you need to see on both sides to lean towards which one? Put all that in the comment section. I'm curious what you guys have to say. This is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.